8 hours and 37 minutes. That's how much time I spent on my phone in a single day last week. That means for more than half of the time I spent awake, I was swiping, scrolling, or clicking my way through it. But it's hard to disconnect sometimes. I run my business, follow workouts, play music, schedule tasks, and connect with loved ones all through this tiny screen. And although it's amazing to have that kind of access, it also presents some challenges. Of those 8 hours, 3 of them were wasted. And by wasted, I mean doom scrolling, text messaging, or tending to notifications when I really should be working. But what if I could get those 3 hours back? What if I kicked distraction to the curb and focused on what matters most? What opportunities would present themselves then? Okay. All right. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to week 3 of my weekly growth series where I document my personal growth journey as a creative entrepreneur. So every week on this channel, I share the challenges, the lessons, and the wins from each week in hopes of inspiring meaningful growth in your lives and everybody watching. So this week I just figured we'd kick right into the challenges, considering how the intro to this video went. So yeah, let's do it. Let's start with some of the things that challenged me this week. So as I'm sure you saw from the beginning of this video, one of the biggest things that I struggle with is spending too much time on my phone, and I'll share some of the side effects that has. I shared in that video an alarming stat from the past week, which was spending 8 hours and 37 minutes on my phone in a single day. I just want to start by saying that it's not always like that. So I would say typically I spend between 4 to 5 hours a day on my phone, which I don't think is too bad, just considering I basically run my business and operate my life from it. But I just wanted to say that obviously some days are much worse than others, and that day in particular also came with a bunch of different side effects that I'll jump into right now, just from spending too much time looking at a screen. So I would say for myself, some of the biggest side effects of too much screen time is, one, lack of productivity. So I get easily distracted, which is what I shared in the message of that video. One of the things that I've really struggled with in the past that I have gotten much better at, and I'll share some of the things that I've done to improve, is that spending too much time on my phone before bed and when I wake up just really affects my sleep. I find it hard to wind down if I'm on my phone doom scrolling before bed. And then it also contributes to fatigue during the day. And then that kind of just creates a snowball effect of like brain fog. I just find it hard to get into a flow. It contributes to eye strain, then leads to headaches. And it's just like a snowball effect when I spend too much time on my phone. And that's something that I really felt on that day where I clocked almost 9 hours on the screen. So yeah, just wanted to share that those are some of the side effects. And I know that a lot of people in my life too also struggle with disconnecting, so I just wanted to share this because I felt like this video would resonate with a lot of people. But most importantly, I wanted to share some of the things that I have implemented into my life to dramatically improve my productivity and also reduce my screen time. So the first one, and this has probably been one of the biggest changes, has been sleeping with my phone in another room. So in the past, I used to sleep with my phone next to my bed, which meant that as soon as I wake up, it's just like easy to grab. And then I always felt that as soon as I grabbed it, I was basically screwed. I'm like stuck in the loop of like answering emails, checking Instagram, all that stuff. And it just like starts the day off on a bad foot. So that's the first thing I've been doing, is like sleeping with my phone in another room. I basically just leave it on the island in the kitchen charging, and then I'll just grab it in the morning after I'm done my morning routine. And on the note of routine, one of the things that I've been doing is replacing scrolling with journaling. So typically before bed, I would scroll through my phone, again, checking notifications, answering emails, checking Instagram. But I have been replacing that with journaling. So I'll basically go in and write down my thoughts, some of the things that I did well for the day, some of the things that I'm struggling with, some of the things that I learned. A lot of what ends up in these videos I will write down in my journal at night, but I'll also do that in the mornings. I find that really just like, it just allows me to start the day with a lot of clarity and intention. So replacing scrolling with journaling has been really impactful. And the journal that I've been using is this 5-minute journal by Intelligent Change. It's been really, really good. I'll write things that I'm grateful for, daily affirmations, tasks, and then I'll write things at the end of the night that say like, these are things that made the day great, and as well as this is something that I've learned. I've also taken it a step further, and I will highlight each of the tasks that I've written down just to see if I've actually completed it that day or not. So it gives me something visually to look at to be like, okay, like today was productive, could have been more productive. So it's just something that I have personally added into this journaling session that has really brought a lot of clarity to me. So yeah, the 5-minute journal, if you can see that, by Intelligent Change, if you want to pick one up. Obviously this is not sponsored, but it's really impacted my day or my life in a positive way. So figured I would share. The next thing that has really made an impact on my day-to-day as well as my life as a whole has been starting my mornings with reading. And I'll be the first to say it, reading for me for a long time, I just like hated reading. Like I for the longest time, I used to say that I would rather watch paint dry than read a book, which is crazy because the amount of like knowledge I've gained just from starting to read and starting my days with reading has just been like incredible. So I want to share some of the books that have made an impact on my life. So right now, well, let's start with this one. This one is called The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. Hopefully I got that name right. But honestly, this book is what kickstarted my journey into reading, and it's been absolutely incredible. As the title says, it basically talks about like focusing on the most important tasks, making time for them and all that stuff. So this book has been amazing. This is one that I'm currently reading right now. It's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And it's basically, as the title says again, it's all about doing things with intention. So figuring out why you do things and letting that guide your actions. So that's a really, really good book. Would highly recommend picking that one up. And I'm also partway through The Creative Act right now by Rick Rubin. So that's this one. And for anybody that's a creative, I would highly suggest picking this one up. It's got a lot of interesting concepts and theories and just like ideas around what it's like to be a creative. It's more so about like the life you live versus the things you make, which I think is a very, very powerful concept. Okay, and then another thing that I do is just completely disconnecting. So going out into the mountains, going for a hike, going backcountry camping is the best way for me to just completely disconnect and completely reset and recharge. And I find that when I actually just like don't have access to service or the online world at all, that's when the creative juices are like firing, you know, like that's when all the ideas come. And that's when I just feel most at peace. I feel the most mental clarity. That's when I think about the most ideas. And yeah, I'm actually going to be making a short film on this idea. So stay tuned. It's in the works and it's coming later. But yeah, by far that is my favorite activity, is just kind of like disconnecting from the online world altogether, going out hiking, camping, and enjoying some fresh air. So, okay, so now let's dive into the lessons, and I want to keep it on the same train of thought around productivity. So one of the biggest things that I've learned in the past year and was reminded of this past week is that being productive isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. And that is something that I had to learn. I feel like in the past I was always just trying to like knock off a million things on a to-do list during the day, and it just really, if I didn't finish that to-do list, like it stressed me out even more. And I found that it was hard for me to put time into things with more intention when there was just so much that I was trying to do. So this is a concept or an idea that I picked up from the book called The One Thing that I already shared. It's just about prioritizing your tasks and just figuring out what's most important and doing that. So in the book, he talks about 1, identifying your most important tasks, 2, time blocking them, but then most importantly, 3 is protecting that time. So let's say, for example, you've established that the most important thing you can do in a day is create content. So basically, you would pull up your calendar, you would time block 4 hours of the day to creating content. And because you've established that as the most important task, then you have to protect that time. So if people want to do things with you, say, hey, I can't do it in these 4 hours, let's do it later. Don't check your phone. Don't answer emails. Like, focus on creating content for those 4 hours. And then after those 4 hours are done, then you can do all the other tasks. And again, this is because you have established that the most important task for you is creating content. That's the example I'm giving. But that has been a really powerful mindset shift for me and something that I've been doing in my life, and it's really made a difference. So I figured I would share that. All right, now let's dive into some of the wins, some of the things that went well this week, which is always exciting for me to look back on. I will start by saying for Colleen's birthday, I actually planned a like hotel getaway at this place called Fantasyland Hotel in Edmonton, which is like probably one of the coolest, most unique hotels I've ever been to. But basically, this hotel has themed floors. So each floor has a different theme. So the one that we were in was actually like a space room. So we were there for 2 nights. It was pretty wild. I'll share some footage of what the room looked like. But yeah, literally just felt like we were in a spaceship for a couple nights. And yeah, it was just a really fun experience. And I'm glad I got to share it with Colleen. This mall was crazy. There was like a bunch of stuff. There was bowling. There was like a bunch of arcades. There was a water park, which I didn't get any footage of. But yeah, we basically spent a few hours in the water park going down water slides. And then yeah, we went for a few drinks and went mini putting. And we also... yeah, we played a bunch of arcade games. So it was a good little weekend away, little disconnection from work. And yeah, I would definitely say that that was a big win for the week. Number 2, on the business side, we've been having a lot of client meetings over the past week and a half with past clients and new clients. And it's been really exciting to talk about some of the upcoming projects for the year. So I would say that's definitely a win. Has been, 1, getting the opportunity to like work again with past clients. That means you did a good job on the first time and they want to keep working with you. And 2, obviously the prospect of new work, which is also very exciting. Most notably, we had an in-person meeting with one of our dream clients from last year. I'll share some footage from that project. But yeah, we had an in-person meeting with them and we talked about work for this year, potential summer retainer. But most exciting is a potential dream project, which would be like one of the most fulfilling projects I ever work on. I'm hoping that it pulls through and that I can share it with you guys very soon. But yeah, all in all, had a bunch of really good meetings with past clients and we're excited for what this year holds. So, all right, and the third and final win that I'll share is honestly just creating this YouTube video. I've been having such a blast creating for YouTube. I can't believe I've like put it off for this long. Like, I'm just having so much fun making these videos. And it's so great to see that you guys are getting value out of them. But this video especially, I challenged myself to just create indoors in my home. So if you've been following me on Instagram for years, or if you followed the first 2 YouTube videos that I put out, the majority of what I create is in the outdoors. So this was a challenge for me and a very fun challenge to just kind of like create within my home, within the spaces that I occupy. So getting a little bit crafty with artificial lighting, setting up tube lights like this, yeah, creating the script, and just like I was really happy with how it all came together, how it all flowed. And I have a huge thanks to give to my buddy Tim. Tim, if you're watching this, you're a legend. But thank you to him for helping me film. He just lives down the road and he came over and helped me film some of the shots. He is also on YouTube and definitely worth the subscribe. So I will drop his channel down below and you can check him out. But yeah, thanks Tim for helping me film. I'm really pumped with how this turned out and I hope it resonated with all you guys. So yeah, those are the wins. And finally, something to leave you with, something to ponder is, what is something you can change to improve your productivity? Think about it and let me know in the comments what comes to mind, and always happy to chat more about this with anybody. So if you want to chat, you want to connect, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and yeah, always happy to chat life, business, creativity, whatever it may be. So, but yeah, stoked to continue this series every week, and I am so excited to have you guys along. So if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.